What's up, party people? Cheers. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So I did end up having Jesse Lynn over, former adult entertainer Jesse Lynn, on the weekend, but she kept getting interrupted, and it was just, there was no point in editing it all down. So I didn't. And we talked about like all kinds of shit. We discussed what our first episode is going to be, because this still isn't our first episode. And so y'all want us to talk about relationships for the most part. And you want dating advice from me, a guy who isn't dating, and her, a single mom who just started dating. She actually just started dating online. I've only done that once. It was on for a day, got laid, and left it. So, her idea was to talk about drag queens, which is totally cool. I don't know anything about drag queens, but I guess she's been watching this RuPaul show, which I have not watched, because, fuck, I don't know. Why wouldn't I be watching the fucking RuPaul drag queen show? And so that's a really good possibility. If you have another suggestion, feel free to email us at 5o'clockpodcast@gmail.com. Open to all suggestions and always answer the emails. So let's just jump into the moon landing and how I think it's fake. I think the footage we saw, or they saw, in 1969, I wasn't alive in 1969. I was alive in like 1959, and then there was this whole thing with the stake through the heart and all the garlic and shit, but then I didn't come back until later. But in 1969, they showed some moon landing footage that's absolutely fake. Anyone who's worked in television or movies or worked on a soundstage can tell you that that shit is not real at all. And anyone who's ever done work with film can tell you that that's not the standard 29 frames per second that television was broadcast at that time. It's probably 15 to 16, 18 tops frames per second footage that was shown. Now, whether they went to the moon or not, who fucking knows? I wasn't there, but I do know that what they showed was not real. And I don't know their motivation behind that. I mean, maybe they were worried about their astronauts getting fried, killed on live TV, that kind of stuff. And can you blame them? Do you want that shit going out to the American public when you're trying to rub it in the face of the Russians? Look how great we are, and the horror, all that shit, yeah. So the footage they saw was definitely from a soundstage. And if you've watched the Stanley Kubrick documentary about going to the moon, they'll show you the techniques they used. It's the same techniques they used in 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then if you, I cross-reference that with Richard Hoagland's work, because he thinks they went to the moon and they landed inside of some kind of a structure. And he's done all kinds of enhancement and video analysis of what's going on in the background, and he seems to think that they are inside of some kind of superstructure. But if you cross-reference that with the Stanley Kubrick stuff, they're inside of a soundstage, and that superstructure that Hoagland thinks they're in is the fucking backdrop. It's a screen that you would project an image onto. So you would have all your foreground props and then project an image onto a background screen and then film it. It was a chroma fucking whatever. Not a green screen like today. So yeah, Richard Hoagland's a fucking moron, and they may or may not have gone to the moon, but we didn't get to see any of that shit. Now, I don't know what that has to do with dating, relationships, or drag queens, but this is where we are now. So feel free to leave your comments or email me at the thing I said before. And if you weren't paying attention, then fuck, whatever, man. Anyways, cheers.